There's a general phenomenon called Yeridas Hadoros. We know this is one of the biggest differences between Yidden and what Yidden believe, and lahavdil, the way the secular world views things. In the secular world, they believe in Aliyas Hadoros. Anything that any person lived 100 years ago, whatever they knew or thought is completely outdated. And as time moves on, we become wiser and smarter and more sensitive, and mefresh date better. We understand more, and Eden, we know the opposite way around. We know there's this idea of Yeridas Hadoros. We believe that as the generations progress, so our neshamas are lower and lower. And this is something which is, anyone who learns a little knows that the Mishnah lays on halacha, and the Gemara will never argue on a Mishnah. The Gemara will question the Mishnah. Why does it say this? Gemara, an Amoira will never disagree with a Tana unless there's another Tana who he can hang his hat on, who agrees with him. And why is that? Because the Amiroim accepted the Tanoim were greater than them. And therefore, if the Tanoim said something, even if the Amoira didn't understand why, it was not within the right of the Amoira to argue on a Tana. And then once the Gemara was finished, so no one can argue on the Gemara, and Achrin won't argue on a Rishon. As we go through the generations, there's this tremendous respect that we have for the previous generations. Now, first of all, in a very logical sense, it's because we are recipients of the Messiah. So someone who lived 500 years before me is 500 years closer to the Messiah. I'm going to argue with that person. That's a technical understanding. A technical understanding is this idea that the earlier generations were closer to Kabbalah Satira. But Beruchnis and Yanim, there's also, we believe in the idea of Yeridas Hadoros, which means that our neshamas pashat are a lower level neshamas. Our neshamas don't have the mental or emotional capabilities of the previous generations. Obviously, we can't experience the Avas Hashem and Yiras Hashem of the neshamas of even the Chassidim of the Alter Rebbe. And beforehand, the neshamas beforehand, we can't understand Hashem in the same way. We have lower neshamas. Our neshamas are less capable and less sensitive to godliness. What is the reason for Yeridas Hadoros? In the Yeridas HaKodesh, the Alter Rebbe explains, and it's based on, we say on Sukkos Harachman Hu Yakim Lanu Es Sukkas David Hanefelas. We ask Hashem to uplift the Sukkah of David, Hanifelas. And what is the translation of Hanifelas? Which is falling. You would think it should say, Sukkah David, Asher Nafla, that fell. If we're talking, Al Pipasha Pshat is talking about the Beis HaMikdash, the Sukkah that was built by David HaMelech. It was destroyed. What is Hanifelas in present tense? That the Beis HaMikdash is falling. So Al Pi Kabbalah, Sukkas David refers to the Shekhinah. David is Malchus, Shekhinah is Malchus. Without getting into the details, Sukkas David is the Shekhinah, and we know the Shekhinah is one with Knesset Yisrael, the Makar of the Neshamas of Yisrael. The Makar of Neshamas Yisrael is the Shekhinah. This is what we learned. We learned this earlier in Tanya and Prakim in the Aleph and the Beis. We're saying Harachman or Yakim Lanu Sugas David Hanefelas is because the Shekhinah is constantly falling. The Shekhinah and Knesset Yisrael is constantly falling, which is the reason for Yeridas Hadoros. It's not that it fell once. It's going lower and lower. Meaning, as we said earlier in today's class, Klal Yisrael is compared to like a body. A body has the higher parts, the head and the heart and the arms. And as we go through the generation, the Shekhinah is going lower and lower. The earlier generations, the generations of the Tanoim and Amiroim, they were in the Madrega of the head. That's where the Shekhinah was at that time. And that's what the Avodah was at that time. At a later point in time, it went lower. The Shekhinah went lower. It went to the heart. At that time, the Ikra Avodah was Tefillah. Avodah Shebelev. And the Shekhinah is coming down and down until Ikvis of the Mashiach. And now we understand why it's called Ikvis of the Mashiach, the heels of Mashiach, because the Shekhinah fell all the way down to the Okev, to the heel. And that's where our Avodah today is in the heel. In different words, our Avodah today is not so much a spiritual Avodah. The head and the heart represent spirituality, one higher than the other. And our Avodah today is the heel, we're the feet that walk. Our Avodah today is Maisa, HaMaisa Hu Iker. In the generation right before Mashiach, HaMaisa Hu Iker. And that's why the Alter Rebbe says in the Yeridas Hakodesh today, the main Avodah is giving tzedakah. Not that, yeah, we daven. In every generation, we have to do everything. But the question is, what is our Ikar Avodah? Today, our Ikar Avodah is tzedakah. There is nothing more physical than tzedakah. There's nothing more physical. The Rebbe talks about this in Tanya and Perek Lamed Zayin, than going and working hard and sweating, and then afterwards taking the physical money that you give and giving it to tzedakah. It's the most physical act, and as Alter Rebbe says, it elevates the most amount of physicality possible, more than any other mitzvah. And that's our avodah today. Our main avodah is avodah of Maisa and tzedakah.